Rain poured over the quiet town of Maplewood as officers moved through the forest, their flashlights slicing through the mist. The air was heavy with tension. A 12-year-old girl named Emily had been missing for 3 days. Every second felt like a lifetime for her mother, Sarah, who stood trembling near the police line, praying for a miracle. And that miracle came in the form of a German shepherd named Rex, a seasoned 9, known for his unbreakable loyalty and sharp instincts. As soon as Rex picked up Emily's scent from her jacket, his demeanor changed. He barked once, loud and commanding, then darted into the woods, his handler, Officer Daniels, close behind. None of them knew then that Rex was about to uncover something that would shake the entire town to its core. Emily was the kind of girl everyone in Maplewood adored. Kind-hearted, artistic, always smiling. Her disappearance didn't make sense. There were no signs of struggle, no ransom note, just her bike left abandoned near the old mill. Officer Daniels and Rex worked tirelessly. Hours turned into days. The townspeople began to lose hope, and whispers started. Some believed Emily had run away. Others suspected foul play. But Rex refused to give up. He kept circling the same patch of forest behind the mill, growling low, scratching the ground. "Something's here," Daniels murmured, following his partner's lead. It was late evening when Rex suddenly stopped, stiffened, and began digging furiously under a large oak tree. Officers rushed over, expecting the worst, a grave. But what they found wasn't Emily. It was a small metal box, old and rusted. Inside were drawings, letters, and photographs, Emily's secret diary. As Sarah clutched the soaked pages in her shaking hands, the truth began to unravel. Emily had been investigating something dark about the old mill. Her diary mentioned strange figures meeting there at night, voices she didn't recognize, and her fear that someone was watching her. Officer Daniels realized this wasn't a missing person case. It was something much bigger. Following Rex's lead, the team searched deeper into the woods. The dog led them to a small hidden cabin near the river, one that didn't appear on any map. Daniels drew his weapon, heart pounding. Rex barked, his nose pressed to the ground near a trapdoor beneath the cabin floor. With a creak, they opened it, and there was Emily. She was weak but alive, her wrists bound, eyes filled with tears of relief as she saw Rex. "You found me," she whispered, sobbing as the dog licked her hands. Behind the kidnapping was a man the whole town trusted, Mr. Harper, the mill's owner. He had been using the old property for illegal dumping and silencing anyone who came too close to the truth. Emily had discovered his secret and paid the price for it. With Emily safe and Mr. Harper arrested, the town erupted in emotion. Reporters flooded the streets, calling Rex a hero. But for Sarah, the only thing that mattered was holding her daughter again. "I thought I'd lost her forever," she cried, hugging Rex tightly. "Thank you for bringing her back." Officer Daniels smiled, eyes glistening. "He never gives up," he said, rubbing Rex's. "He always knows where the truth is buried." Weeks later, Emily stood beside Rex at a town ceremony. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "I was scared and alone, but I never stopped believing someone would find me. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. They walk on 4 legs." The crowd erupted in applause. Rex barked, tail wagging proudly. As the camera panned over the peaceful town, the narrator's voice closed the story. The courage doesn't always roar. It sometimes comes in fur, paws, and a loyal heart that refuses to quit. Rex didn't just uncover a girl's secret. He uncovered the truth, restored hope, and reminded everyone that heroes can come in the most unexpected forms. The whole town of Maplewood gathered around the hospital that night. Emily was finally safe, weak, trembling, but alive. Her mother, Sarah, never let go of her hand, and beside the hospital bed, resting quietly, was Rex, the hero who had brought her home. When Emily woke up, her first words were soft. "Rex, he found me." Tears filled Sarah's eyes. "Yes, sweetheart. He never stopped searching for you." But even as they celebrated, one question haunted everyone. Why had Emily been taken in the first place? And what else had been buried in the shadows of that old mill? Over the next few days, Emily began to remember bits and pieces, flashes of sound, smell, and fear. She told Officer Daniels that she had seen Mr. Harper, the mill owner, arguing with 2 men near the woods before she disappeared. They were hiding large metal drums, and she heard the words of toxic waste. Emily had secretly taken photos on her old tablet and buried them in a box near the oak tree, the same box Rex had found. But she hadn't realized that someone had seen her do it. Officer Daniels knew then the diary wasn't just a clue, it was a warning. The police reopened the mill site. Beneath the ground, they discovered hundreds of barrels of chemical waste illegally dumped for years. Mr. Harper had been poisoning the town's river, and anyone who knew the truth was silenced. Rex led the team once again through the woods, sniffing trails that had long gone cold. His bark echoed in the valley as he uncovered a second hidden spot, a small pit where old documents and evidence had been buried. Inside were shipping records and Harper's personal notes proving everything. It was more than anyone expected. Maplewood's biggest secret was finally exposed. The trial became the talk of the nation. Mr. Harper's betrayal shocked everyone. A man who had donated to schools, attended church every Sunday, and pretended to be Maplewood's biggest supporter. Emily bravely testified in court, her voice trembling but strong. He told me I'd never be found. But Rex found me. He's the reason I'm alive. The judge paused, visibly moved. The courtroom erupted in tears and applause. Harper was sentenced to decades behind bars. But for Sarah and Emily, the real victory was something deeper, peace. A few months later, the town held a ceremony at the park. Children waved small flags, officers stood in line, and banners read, "Thank you, Rex, our true hero." Rex stood proudly beside Officer Daniels, wearing a medal on his collar. Cameras flashed, but Rex's calm brown eyes stayed fixed on Emily, who smiled and held his paw. "He saved me," she said softly to the crowd, "but he also saved our town." That night, as the sun dipped behind the trees, Daniels watched Rex rest beneath the oak tree, the same one where the secret was found. "You did good, boy," he whispered. "You always do." 1 year later, Maplewood transformed the old mill site into a memorial park named Rex's Field. A bronze statue of the Nine stood at its center, symbolizing courage and truth. Emily, now healthier and happier, often visited to paint and read. Her bond with Rex had become inseparable. She even started volunteering with the local 9 training unit. "He taught me what bravery looks like," she'd tell new handlers. "It doesn't matter how dark the forest is, someone will always find the light." As the camera slowly zooms out over the peaceful park, a narrator's voice ends the story. Sometimes heroes don't just save lives, they restore faith in humanity. Rex uncovered more than a secret. He uncovered hope, reminding us all that even when the world hides the truth, love and loyalty will always bring it to light. It had been 5 years since Rex uncovered the truth behind the old mill. Maplewood had changed. Brighter streets, cleaner rivers, and a park named Rex's Field standing proudly where fear once lived. Emily, now 17, had grown into a confident young woman. Her trauma had become her strength. She often volunteered at the 9 training center with Officer Daniels, who was now nearing retirement, and Rex, older but still sharp, was her constant companion. But one cold autumn morning, a new case shattered that peace and called Rex back into action for one last mission. A boy named Ethan, just 10 years old, vanished on his way home from school. His backpack was found near the same forest where Emily had once been trapped. The whole town felt a chilling sense of déjà vu, and when Officer Daniels received the call, he looked down at Rex. The dog, though older, rose slowly and barked once. "Ready. You still have it in you, old boy," Daniels whispered. "Let's bring another one home." Emily insisted on joining the search. She had trained for years for this, and Rex had taught her everything she knew. The search began under the fading light of dusk. The forest looked the same, quiet, haunting, full of echoes. As Rex sniffed through the fallen leaves, Emily followed close, flashlight trembling in her hand. They found broken branches, footprints, and a small red shoe near the riverbank. Rex barked twice, tail stiff, the same alert he gave years ago when he found Emily's trail. But something was different this time. There were 2 sets of tracks, one of a child and one of a man wearing heavy boots. The tension rose as Rex led them deeper into the woods toward the abandoned train tunnel, sealed off years ago. Inside the tunnel, the air was thick with dust and fear. Officer Daniels shouted Ethan's name, but only silence replied. Suddenly, Rex darted forward, barking furiously at a pile of debris. Emily rushed to help, and beneath the rubble, she found a hidden door. They forced it open, and there was Ethan, frightened but alive. He clung to Emily, crying. But before they could leave, they heard footsteps echoing behind them. The kidnapper appeared, a former worker of the mill, one of Harper's accomplices who had escaped justice. He pointed a weapon toward them. Daniels shielded Emily and Ethan, but the man fired. Rex lunged forward, knocking the gun from his hands, protecting his team with every ounce of strength left in him. Officers burst in seconds later, tackling the man to the ground. But when the chaos settled, Rex lay still. Emily dropped to her knees beside Rex. "No, no, stay with me," she cried, holding his head in her lap. Daniel's voice trembled. "He saved us again, like he always does." Rex's breathing slowed as Emily whispered softly, "You found me once, and now you saved him. You're our hero, forever, forever." The Nine's eyes met hers one last time, gentle and full of love. Before closing peacefully, rain began to fall outside, just like the night he first found her years ago. The forest stood silent as a hero's story came to its end. Weeks later, the whole town gathered at Rex's field again, this time for a memorial. A bronze plaque was added beneath his statue reading, "Rex, the dog who found truth, saved lives, and never gave up." Emily became a certified Nine handler and was assigned her own dog, a young German shepherd pup named Shadow, trained from Rex's bloodline. In the final scene, Emily walks through the park with Shadow by her side. She looks toward Rex's statue and smiles. "You'll always be with us," she says softly. "We'll keep finding the lost, just like you taught me." As the sun sets, the camera pans over the peaceful town. A narrator's voice closes the trilogy. Heroes don't live forever, but their courage does. Rex may be gone, but the light he brought to Maplewood will never fade. Sometimes love leaves a legacy strong enough to guide generations.